Most people assume the internet works through satellites. It feels intuitive, right? Information leaves your phone, travels up into space, bounces off a satellite, and comes back down somewhere else. That idea has been repeated so many times that it almost feels obvious. But it's mostly wrong. In reality, more than 95% of the world's international internet traffic travels through cables lying on the ocean floor. Thousands of miles of fiber optic cables quietly connect continents, carrying everything from emails and financial transactions to video calls and YouTube streams. The internet isn't floating in space, it's running through glass fibers deep under the sea. So how does data actually travel across the ocean? And how did we build an infrastructure system that spans the entire planet without most people ever noticing it? To understand that, we have to start with the cables themselves. Submarine internet cables are made from fiber optics, which means the data isn't transmitted as electricity the way older communication lines worked. Instead, information travels as pulses of light through extremely thin strands of glass. Each fiber is about the width of a human hair, but inside it, lasers send light signals that represent digital information. When you send a message online, whether it's an email or a video stream, that information gets converted into a series of light pulses. Those pulses move through the fiber optic cable at roughly 2/3 the speed of light, which is incredibly fast. Even across thousands of miles of ocean, the delay is often just a fraction of a second. Of course, the idea of sending delicate glass fibers across the ocean might sound fragile, but the cables themselves are heavily engineered. A typical submarine cable is built with multiple protective layers. At the center are the fiber optic strands. Around them are layers of steel wires, insulation, waterproofing, and protective sheathing designed to withstand deep ocean pressure and decades of use. Still, laying these cables across entire oceans is not a small task. That job falls to specialized ships known as cable-laying vessels. These ships carry enormous spools of fiber optic cable that can stretch for hundreds or even thousands of kilometers. When a new cable route is planned, engineers first study the ocean floor in detail, mapping underwater mountains, trenches, and geological hazards. Once the route is finalized, the ship slowly travels along that path, carefully lowering the cable into the water. In shallow coastal areas where anchors or fishing activity could damage it, the cable is often buried beneath the seabed using robotic plows. In deeper parts of the ocean, the cable simply rests on the seafloor, sometimes several miles beneath the surface. The process can take weeks or even months depending on the distance between continents. A transatlantic cable between North America and Europe, for example, might stretch over 6,000 kilometers, but the cable itself is only part of the story. At each end of the ocean route, the cable eventually reaches land at what's called a landing station. These are secure facilities, usually located near the coastline, where the submarine cable connects to the terrestrial internet infrastructure. Inside a landing station, powerful equipment converts the optical signals traveling through the cable and routes them into national and regional networks. From there, the data spreads across fiber lines that run beneath cities, along highways, and into data centers. These data centers are another critical part of the system. They house thousands of servers that store and process information for websites, apps, and online services. When you load a web page or stream a video, your request travels through this network of cables and servers, often across multiple countries, before the response returns to your device. What makes the system impressive isn't just its scale, it's the coordination involved. Thousands of cables, hundreds of landing stations, and countless data centers work together to move information around the world almost instantly. And the system has to be reliable. Financial markets, communication networks, transportation systems, and emergency services all depend on these connections functioning smoothly. You might wonder why we rely so heavily on cables instead of satellites. Satellites do play an important role in global communication, especially in remote areas. But they have limitations. Signals sent to satellites must travel tens of thousands of kilometers into space and back down again. That distance introduces latency, or delay, which can slow down communication. Fiber optic cables, by comparison, take a more direct path across the planet. They allow for far greater bandwidth and much faster response times. That's why nearly all major internet traffic between continents flows through submarine cables rather than satellites. Another interesting detail is who actually owns these cables. In the early days of the internet, many submarine cables were built by telecommunications companies. Today, some of the largest technology companies in the world are also involved. Companies like Google, Meta, and Microsoft have invested billions of dollars in new submarine cable systems. These investments help ensure that their services can deliver fast, reliable connections across the globe. But what happens if one of these cables breaks? It might sound catastrophic, but the internet is designed with redundancy. There are hundreds of submarine cables worldwide, and traffic can often be rerouted if one line fails. Still, cable damage does happen occasionally. Fishing trawlers, ship anchors, underwater landslides, and even earthquakes can damage cables. When that happens, specialized repair ships are dispatched to the area. These crews locate the damaged section, bring it to the surface, repair or replace the segment, and lower it back to the seabed. Despite the occasional disruption, the global network of submarine cables is remarkably resilient. The system has expanded steadily for decades, connecting more regions and carrying ever-increasing volumes of data. Today, there are over 500 active submarine cable systems spanning the world's oceans. Together, they form the backbone of the modern internet. And yet, most people never see them. They lie quietly on the ocean floor, stretching between continents, rarely drawing attention unless something goes wrong. But every message you send, every website you visit, and every video you stream depends on this hidden infrastructure. The next time you open a web page or watch a video online, it's worth remembering the journey that information might have taken. Somewhere beneath the ocean, pulses of light are traveling through glass fibers across thousands of miles of seabed, connecting one part of the world to another. It's one of the largest engineering systems humanity has ever built, and most of it exists out of sight. This is the hidden infrastructure of the world.